This is Paul Pearson, host of Star Time. And when I'm not driving my sweet AMC Pacer through the car wash, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio .world. You missed a spot.
PrEP is a daily pill that can significantly reduce your chances of getting HIV. And typically, it takes a trip to a physician to get it. Now, you can visit select pharmacies, get tested on the spot, and walk away with your first month of PrEP. Plus, you'll also walk away with a $50 gift card after you complete your pharmacy visit. It's easier than ever to protect yourself from HIV. To find your nearest participating pharmacy, go to doh.wa.gov/PrEP now. From the Washington State Department of Health and Public Health, Seattle, and King County.
The beat of the Fox with nastiness is back on K-Fox Night Beat.
Yo, what's the deal? It's the legendary Hall of Fame DJ Mixmaster Ice from UTFO.
What's up? Who you thought this is? This is Sir Mix-a-Lot.
And this is Terry Lewis.
And I'm Grand Mixer GMS.
What's up, y'all? This is DJ Third Degree.
This is JJ Hudson from the High Children family.
Sunday nights from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's K-Fox Night Beat with DJ Nastiness.
Bringing back the memories.
Bringing back the memories.
Bringing Seattle's hottest music.
Bringing Seattle's hottest music. Rainier Avenue Radio .world.
That's my noise.
Peace.
What's up, everyone? It's your girl, Queen Bree, inviting you to come join me on Clean Greens Living. Broadcasted Tuesdays, 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, live right here on Rainier Avenue Radio. On Clean Greens Living, we talk farming, community, and ways to being healthy. So come join me and let's discuss ways to create a healthier you and a healthier community.
If you or a family member are 55 or over and need nursing home level care, but want to keep living where you are, check out Providence Elder Place PACE. This program offers healthcare, housing, transportation, and recreational activities. There are no co-pays or deductibles, and it's covered through Medicare and Medicaid. Providence Elder Place PACE works to keep you healthy and in your home. Call 206-320-5325 or visit providence.org Elder Place. Providence.org Elder Place.
You're listening to Rainier Avenue Radio .world. Check us out on social media. Facebook and Instagram, Rainier Avenue Radio .world, and on Twitter at Rainier Ave Radio.
Right. All right. That is our theme song. There is my illustrious host with the most, Brenda Charles Edwards. Also the host of a show, award-winning show, Seniors Meeting, every Friday, 12:30 to 1 p.m. Check it out. One of the very few, if not the only show that talks about and addresses issues, matters, concerns, and things with respect to seniors. Us seniors, we kind of get forgotten about once we reach that magical age of being seniors, whatever that means.
I was going to say, what age is that?
Yeah, that could be almost anything nowadays. We are in a youth-oriented society because they even have a language of their own. We don't even know it, like LOL or WT. Well, I won't say that one, but there's a number of things. But hey, we have, yes, I have always wanted to bring these folks on. Not the folks, but we drive by this place every day, and it's like about maybe 100 yards away from us at the theater, at the most. It's the new Freeway Hall, which is they've reestablished themselves in Columbia City because they used to be. So I'll let the folks talk about it there. But I've asked Doreen McGrath and Gina Petrie to come in and talk about new Freeway Hall, but also their involvement in the organizations that they're involved in. And there it is, new Freeway Hall. And I've got the logo behind me too. And it's a really neat place. You walk in there and you'll see everything, literally, literature, books, art, newspapers, newsletters, everything. And as well as that, it's also a meeting place. I've seen a number of meetings there with people gathered around the tables, etc. So I really wanted to highlight them because they have a lot of things, especially, for us in that limited income bracket. They said they have a number of books and pieces of literature that are affordable, which, remember, I did the scope and I tried to figure out who offers seniors discounts, but they per se don't offer seniors discounts, but they will discount. Their prices are so discounted it's affordable for everybody, and that's good to know in these trying times of shortfall economics and all that stuff. In other words, our dollar doesn't go as far. You know what that means. So anyways, I want to invite Doreen and Gina. Come on in.
Great.
We are here. You are here. Oh yeah, there you are. All right.
Hey.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you for and you showed me the place. You took me on a tour. Really neat place. That place, like I said, you don't realize how big it is, and it's more than one floor.
Yeah.
And so I really was I guess I was really impressed, but mostly impressed about the kinds of work that you do as part of your organizations, but also the fact that you have so much stuff there. There's some stuff in there that's really historical. You have stuff on the BP, Black Panther Party, Freedom Socialist worker stuff, all these things. If I wanted to do some research, which I don't want to do necessarily, Brenda either, because we're old timers.
Careful.
Oh yeah, okay. She's younger. Actually, she's younger than me. All of you are younger than me. But I mean, just some neat stuff. So I said, hey, we're inviting everybody into our show, What's Cooking in Columbia City, to highlight and to celebrate the different businesses and organizations and the entities that have been able to last and hang out and be with us in Columbia City during this pandemic, which it did see a number of businesses fold, changes in what's happening. Because face it, it's probably one of the best neighborhoods in the world to me. And Brenda has a story, if she doesn't mind sharing it, about people who she knows. So Gina, thank you. Doreen, thank you. I'm gonna ask Brenda to share that story, and she can kind of introduce herself. But take it away, Brenda.
Well, I'm kind of curious as which story you're talking about, John.
One when the folks said they had heard.
The people said they had
heard about Columbia City.
Oh, the ones that just moved here from California?
Yep.
Oh, yes. Okay.
See what I'm saying? That's a great testimony. Go ahead on.
Well, they moved up here because the husband had just got a new job. And they're outdoor enthusiasts. They love restaurants. And they had asked where is a good place in Seattle to live that would allow them to have access to all of these amenities and not have to drive very far. So someone mentioned Columbia City to them. So I happened to work with the gentleman, and I found out where he's from and why and blah, blah, blah. And I said, oh, yes, you definitely need to check out Columbia City. I said, you picked a great area to live in. There are so many different types of restaurants, businesses, and because you love biking, as in bicycling, you're in the right place. And so I said, but what you really need to do is listen to mine and John's show, because we will have everybody that's in the neighborhood on the show. So you'll get an idea of what they do, and then you can go explore for yourself. So he was really excited about that. In fact, I think he's going to be listening tonight.
Cool.
So anyway, be on your best behavior now.
Yes.
So I do have a question though, and just kind of, and I've seen the hall. I haven't been inside. I've just seen the outside. But for Gina, what is, John, why are you raising your hand?
No, I'm pointing at Freeway Hall.
Oh,
okay. We don't have special effects. We don't have that kind of budget, so we have to do our own.
Yes, that's true. Stop it, John. So, Gina, what is radical women? Gina? Gina, did you hear me?
I think you muted.
Are you muted, maybe, Gina?
No.
No. Can you repeat it, please? I apologize.
That's okay. I know you're so captivated by all our little activities here. What is Radical Women?
Yes. Well, Radical Women is a socialist feminist organization, and we're intersectional, intergenerational, have members who are, from a lot of different backgrounds, and we do a lot of different community organizing. And really what we're about is building women's leadership in social justice movements, and really seeing how, it's important to fight sexism, fight racism, homophobia, transphobia, all of that, and how, women are an important piece of that fight, and are, we are some of the people who experience all of those forms of oppression.
How long has the organization been around?
Since 1967.
Oh,
So
wow.
over 50 plus years. I can't do that math really quick, but
55 years.
Wow.
Five years, right? Yeah, man, that's a long.
Great.
Great.
So and we've been, at some of the.
Oh, the internet.
Saw that there was a need for women to build their leadership. And, we see that that's still the case.
Most definitely, especially since Roe. No, never mind.
Yeah, we know what that one is.
Yeah. Radical Women's been doing a lot of work,
and that's
to fight for that.
Right. That is what, it's something that Radical Women has been part of ever since we were founded. In the early days in Washington State, members of Radical Women worked with a variety of people, including Black women from the anti-poverty programs, to get abortion legalized in Washington State. And, we've been fighting for abortion rights, but also all forms of reproductive justice. If a woman or a person decides to have a child, they should have that right and that support to do so.
I agree with you 100%. I still haven't been able to figure out how it is men can make decisions for women having children, but they can't give birth.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, but anyway,
Right.
I won't get too deep into that.
No, but it's a very good point, because again, remember, when you think about it, it wasn't that long ago when women were given the right to vote. It had
Right.
that constitutional amendment. I mean, that is insane. And the men in those days said, well, women don't need to think, they don't need to vote, they don't need to just go home and take care of the family, take care of the household. What a bunch of idiots. I'm sorry. They're all gone, but
some of them are still lingering around.
Well,
A lot of ideas are still lingering around, unfortunately.
yeah, and Doreen, you know what we're talking about, as well as you, Gina. There's that new generation of idiots. Well, I'm sorry. Okay, let's be professional, John.
Pointed heads.
Yeah, people walking around with pointed heads. That's what I call these teenagers that just act disruptive. Pointed heads, young kids with pointed heads. So, anyways.
Yeah, a lot of these, when you think about all these what should be old ideas that still are with us, somebody's benefiting, right? It's not, they're here because somebody's benefiting, and they don't care that how much it's harming other people.
Well,
because they're benefiting.
Yeah.
The one in two percenters of thing. So I'm going to ask you, Doreen. Thank you, Gina, for sharing on Brenda's question. Do you have a question for Doreen? Because I knew about Doreen, your work with the Freedom Socialist Party, way back. Because this is Freeway Hall. it's new Freeway Hall, but it used to be over there, over Capitol, that area.
It used to be up just right across the street from Ivor's Salmon House in
Yeah,
University
right.
District.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I used to see the rats running across the street,
Oh my gosh.
to and from the restaurant. Oh, not to, say, never mind. This is many years ago. Sorry.
Right. Things have gotten cleaner, right?
I'm sure.
But you've been involved with several a few decades.
Yes, yes, you can tell from the gray hair.
Yeah, well, no, that's great because, let's be honest. The element of organizing, community organizing, getting active. You guys push voting. You guys push having a voice, just like radical women. If you don't come forward, if you don't speak and say your piece, we know how things happen in this country.
Yeah.
You'll get run over or you'll just be ignored.
We've done a lot of work, for example, fighting different fascist movements that have come across. We've gone across to Idaho. We've done some up in Whidbey Island when they said we were going up there to protest the Nazi skinheads. They said we were the ones causing trouble. And in the end, we won the residents of the island over to our side and over to our protest. And they stopped them from coming there. And we've continued to do that work up until to the current day. We also have done one thing I love about being in Columbia City is how much support there are in neighborhoods. We've had the right wing many years ago attack our building for something we had put in our window, and the entire neighborhood came out and defended. Whether or not they agreed with us, they agreed with our right to free speech in our window, and they defended it. And our window is full of ideas, and people walk by and stop and take pictures of things. They read what we put in there. It's really fun to watch people walk by and stop and look what's going on. One of the windows is the bookstore window, and it has all our, our latest, what we try to change that out so you can see what kind of books we have. But, Radical Women has window and all the work they're doing with the Puget Sound Mobilization for Reproductive Justice. All that information's in the window. We put other community organizations in your picture there. You can kind of see some things. We put other organizations and groups and events in Columbia City in our window, in one of the windows too. So it's great having a storefront with all of that. And during the Black Lives Matter protests after the murder of George Floyd, we worked with the Life Enrichment bookstore across the street, and we had Monday night for the whole summer. We had Monday night protests going on, and again, got so much support from the neighborhood. It was great.
That's great. Let me go back, and then I'm gonna give it back to Brenda. But one of the things that came out of that protest up at Whidbey Island was the fact that the U.S. military, Department of Defense, realized that there was an element within all branches of the military service that were racist, neo-Nazi, bent, you name it, and they still have that issue.
Yes.
It was very heavy in the Marine Corps, which is part of the Navy, and which is ironic. My son was in the Marine Corps Reserve, and I take him up to Whidbey Island. But I talked to him, and he said, "Yeah, you got guys. They wear under their shirt, you cannot show it. They're wearing swastikas and symbols of Aryan Brotherhood and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But how's that? You see." That's when it becomes very important for the public to get together and organize and speak out, because it brings to light that kind of stuff. Because these guys are cowards.
Yeah.
They work in the shadows. We know that. So enough. Okay. I know it's, like I said, only Tuesday, and I'm preaching, and my illustrious co-host is married to a preacher, so she knows what it sounds like. I'm sorry, Brenda. I'm preaching there. So take it away, Brenda.
Oh, John, sometimes you leave me speechless.
That's so rare. That is very rare.
Yeah. But I was great to have you come over. We were really happy to host you over in the building, and really everybody can come by. The bookstore public area is open noon to 6 Monday through Friday. we're getting back to doing, after the pandemic, doing in-person events and meetings. So yeah, you will see more things going on. December 9th, we have a visitor from Argentina. And I don't know if you've noticed the economic crisis in Argentina, but they now have crazy high inflation. There's been protests in the streets. And so our visitor is going to talk about that and what's going on and why it's happening on December 9th. It's a Friday night in the evening. And so, and to your point, Brenda or John, I can't remember who said this, we do sliding scale on our events so that, you know, no matter what your income, you can come in, get a little bite to eat and join us in the discussion. And we always have open discussion in our events. So
Brenda was talking about, wanted to ask questions about, what kind of opportunities to have meetings there. So I'll let Brenda ask the questions about, what your rates are and what your capacity, that kind of thing.
So I belong to a nonprofit, and we do have meetings anywhere from once to twice a month. So I was just curious what your rates were, and just could you tell the audience a little bit about the rental space?
Sure. In the past, we have the ability to kind of roll. We put everything on wheels, so we can roll it into the back and have a big blank canvas for big events. I think up to 80 or 100 people. Since the pandemic, we haven't quite gotten back to those big rentals. So right now we're doing more small rentals where we don't have to roll all the furniture out, of about, I think the biggest we've gotten is like 40 people, 50 people. And for meetings and workshops and trainings, things like that. So that's been going very well. And, some small, so we have a lot of regulars that come once a month and stuff like that. So, and the rental rate for just a meeting is $35 an hour. When we get up into the, it's a little more money when we give the whole hall. We also have a kitchen that we have to re-up our King County, what do you call that permit?
Health permit.
Health permit. And when we get that back up and running, we'll get the permit, and then we can rent this big kitchen with lots of ovens, sinks, the whole. It's like a restaurant kitchen.
Oh yeah, it's full service. It's full service institutional style.
Yeah.
So you got a whole bunch of things you can do there.
Yeah.
I was thinking pancake breakfast.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, I would love to do that. Yeah. I love pancakes. That's why.
Oh yeah. And easy to cook.
If I could just add to that too, I mean, that's something that's really important to us as organizations, is to have it to be a community space and a meeting space and organizing space, to be able to, we believe in sharing the resources, of course, supporting each other's work, but, we have something, a space there to share. And it is, I mean, as Doreen mentioned, we've had regular groups that meet there, and and it's a great way to connect to other issues that are happening in the community as well, in the South End, and the bookstore. Check out as mentioned.
Right, and is there AV equipment available?
Not that we rent. We have it when we have meetings. One of the things it's almost figured out, is like now to do an in-person meeting, you have to hybrid it too, so that everyone who you've met via Zoom can still come,
right?
That don't live so nearby. So we've kind of got that figured out. It's still a little, not as organized as I'd like it to be, but
in time.
Yeah, in time. If we had a lot more money, I'm sure we could do that. But fundraising is always.
I was just saying, you can have your own fundraiser. You have the space. So
yeah, exactly. Yes, we'll do more. Definitely in 2023, you'll see a lot more activities happening. Now that
I don't know if you mentioned, but what was the purpose of picking Columbia City? Was it just convenient, or was it what was the drawing card for
Well,
Columbia
we
City?
were renting at the old Freeway Hall. We were renting at Ivor Salmon House owned Old Freeway Hall, and it was a building that was falling apart at the time. And anyway, it was pretty bad, and he was jacking up the rates, and so we did a lot of fundraising for many years to buy a building. And when we went looking, it was in the mid 1980s, which was a good time. There was a bit of a recession in that time, prices. So we had been looking for years, but we found, and we had looked in the CD, Capitol Hill, University District. We kind of wanted to get stay in working class neighborhoods, and we wanted to be in a diverse neighborhood where there were a lot of people of color, the queer community. We wanted it to be in the heart of those kinds of neighborhoods. And so when we bought the building, it was 1985, and we bought it, I think, for just a penny more than was owed to the bank. It was on bankruptcy. We found the building in bankruptcy, and it needed a lot of work. The upstairs, where I'm actually up there in the office now, and this was just a warehouse. It wasn't. We had to put up walls and do all kinds of work up here. But yeah, so we just sort of found it was where we could afford a building at the time. So that's how we found Columbia City, and it was a great. I remember I coordinated the move from the old hall to the new hall, and before we could move, though, we had to renovate at least the downstairs so we could get in. And we were doing that a whole summer, spring to the summer to the fall. And that summer, all the neighborhood kids came. They were like, I don't know, 12, 13, 14. And they're like, can we help? And we'd be like, well, we need your mom or dad to tell us it's okay. And they'd go and tell their moms, and we'd call them. Back in the day, you just called somebody and says, all right, if so-and-so hangs out with us for a little while, we'll feed them lunch. And they're like, please take me. So we met the neighborhood that way, just from the kids that came and helped us. It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love it. Yes, John, you were going to say?
No, that is a great story. Hey, you're listening to What's Cookin' in Columbia City with our very special guests, Doreen McGrath and Gina Petrie. Gina Petrie, Radical Women. Doreen McGrath, Freedom Socialist Worker Party organizer, but one of the stalwarts of the organization. But they also are involved with the new Freeway Hall, which we are highlighting as well. Actually, would love to say to folks, come on down to 5018 Rainier Avenue South. Take a look at the building. I mean, I walk by there, like I said, I go by there at least once a day, and I look at the books. And when I'm walking, very rarely, of course, but trying to get some exercise. You got all kinds of books, all kinds of literature, all kinds of circulars. Just a great place to hang out. Plus, I've seen you, shortly before the pandemic when you had meetings, public meetings, and I saw folks in there that I do too. So hey, take advantage of it, folks. This is a great because there are very few meeting halls or places where you can gather in Columbia City proper.
Yeah.
There's only so much landmass. So, and that's the plug I wanted to get. 5018 Rainier Avenue South, folks. So anyway,
and we're going to be fixing up the building in the coming year too. Some of our planters, you have a nice picture that you showed earlier. I was like, oh, that's when it was pretty in front of the hall. But there was a car accident that sort of smashed up one of our planters, which protected our building really nicely, but didn't do. And the other planters are getting old, so we have new planters built and bought, and it's just we're waiting for spring and to get some new flowers and make it pretty in the front again.
Very good.
I've got a question that's for both of you, and we only have a few minutes left. But my question is, how do you advocate change?
Now I'm going to let Gina start. I've been talking a lot.
I mean, I think it has to be in multiple ways. I think the main thing, the thing that we really focus on is what kind of change we want to see, and working with other activists and other, community members on how we can get there, and realize that we have to do it together. Building that coalition and community is critical.
We are going to have to break. This is time's up, but we have. I do a program in March on Women's History Month. I would like to invite you guys to come back and talk more about your organizational activities. Thank you, Gina. Thank you.
Thank you.
Maureen. Thank you, Brenda. We ran out of time.
But you know what, ladies, I will be stopping by to check.
Oh, definitely.
Wonderful.
I would like to visit you over in the theater too. It's great. Right. If you have a time, I'd like to see your offices. It's great to have you nearby.
All right. Thank you very much, Gina.
Thank you.
Doreen.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Take care.